Straight ahead on NonStop Local at 4, a delay of trial. The defense of WSP trooper accused of homicide and DUI, they're asking for more time. Why that is and when the jury trial will kick off. And a parking pass aimed at disabled veterans set to make a big difference for those who serve. The local ties behind this special benefit for Washingtonians. And a fight in Franklin County, the fight over control and operational procedure at the county jail. We're speaking to both sides in this ongoing saga.
Corey Howard and Leslie Lowe, bringing you the content that connects our community. You're watching NonStop Local News at 4.
And we're starting off this half hour with some new parking rules for disabled veterans in Washington that are now in effect. Veterans with a qualifying discharge and a 70% or higher disability rating can apply for special parking benefits. You can get blue placards, veteran parking plates, or a disabled veteran tab. And along with these new rules is a new law named after one retired vet's four-legged friend. NonStop Local's Ainsley Anderson spoke with the owner of Ranger, the service dog, about what this law is and why it's now helping many vets across Washington. Good afternoon, Ainsley.
Good afternoon, Corey. Yeah, Ranger's law exists as a means of protecting the dogs that now protect those who served. The new law allows vets with service animals to apply for disabled parking placards. The bill was first brought forward by the executive director of Canine Cavalry, Dan Register. Register is a retired vet who says his buddy Ranger helps him get through everyday life, but that sometimes lack of parking or tight parking spots aren't accessible for him to load and unload his dog safely.
But it raises the question, if we compare a veteran with a service dog to a person using a wheelchair, the dog and the wheelchair are medical necessities or medical instruments to provide for a codified condition that the ADA recognizes. So if we need room to get the wheelchair out, we need room to get the dog out safely.
Register also says it protects the dogs from potentially being hit by cars or walking long distances on hot pavement that could damage their paw pads. All new disabled parking applicants require a letter from the U.S. Armed Forces or Veterans Affairs. They need to submit at a vehicle licensing office or mail to Olympia. This explains they can expect placards in 7 to 10 days and ID cards to come in about 2 to 3 weeks. And Register says that this has helped him immensely, and he hopes that it can continue to help those who now have pets that help them after serving. Reporting in Spokane, I'm Ainsley Anderson, NonStop Local.
Ainsley Anderson, thank you very much. And Leslie Lowe on the weather. Wait, do you hear that? It's pretty quiet out there, isn't it?
It's pretty quiet.
But it won't be for long because new weather's, never mind. You do it. You tell them about it.
I don't know. You were doing pretty good. I was liking it. I was like, where's he going to go with this? I was kind of excited to hear.
I didn't really know where I'm going with it, but thank you.
Okay. Anytime you want to step in, I'm going to let you. Let's talk about that weather forecast. It has been nice out there. A few more clouds and beautiful colors. You can see we're at peak season right now in Spokane. Up in the mountain locations, we're past that peak time. However, regardless, no matter what way you're driving, you're going to run into some beautiful conditions out there. Now, as far as what we're seeing live look over Spokane, a few clouds out there. A satellite radar will show that here in a second. It's 57 degrees in Spokane, 57 in Coeur d'Alene. We've got mid to upper 50s back through central Washington, currently sitting in the upper 50s, low to mid 60s from the Yakima Valley into the Tri-Cities over towards Lewiston, which is currently sitting at 65 degrees. Wind speeds for the most part 5 to 10 miles per hour across the board. The Dow's a little bit breezier, and you can actually see that system, that wave pushing across the northwest corner. Most of that energy going to push up into BC over towards Alberta. We're just going to see some of that cloud coverage as we head throughout the day and into the overnight hours, which means, again, temperatures will be on the warmer side tonight. We'll be in the upper 30s in Spokane, 40-degree temperatures in Coeur d'Alene, and we've got mid to upper 30s and 40s across central Washington. Still some cold pockets, though, Corey, up across the northern mountains with those overnight lows tonight for our friends in Caldwell at 26 degrees. You mentioned it a second ago, my friend. We do have changes on the way. We'll talk about that coming up in a few minutes.
Thanks, Leslie. Meanwhile, the trial for a Washington State Patrol trooper accused of hitting and killing a motorcyclist while off duty has been delayed, with the defense saying they need more time. The pretrial hearings for Trooper Sarah Clayson were supposed to start today, but are now delayed until January. Clayson's attorney, Scott Johnson, tells us, quote, the defense has only recently had access to some of the state's evidence, and those disclosures are ongoing. Until we have complete access to the state's evidence and complete our investigation, the case cannot proceed, end quote. We have also reached out to the state's attorney and are waiting to hear back from them. The jury trial in the case is now slated to begin on February 23rd. Between Yakima and Tri-Cities, police arrested a man for having a gun on school property in Grandview. The Grandview Police Department says officers responded to a fight happening near 2nd Street Monday afternoon, a short distance from Thompson Elementary and the school district offices. Witnesses told police that a student and their parents confronted another student, and the parents let the student fight the other while keeping other students away. The witnesses also reported that one parent was openly carrying a firearm. Officers reviewed school district video and then arrested the 32-year-old parent for unlawfully having a gun on school grounds, and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. The father was released on his own recognizance and is due back in court next Wednesday for his arraignment. Walla Walla County Sheriff has released the cause of a death of a person found in the Columbia River last week. They say 20-year-old Justin Garcia Montez accidentally drowned while kayaking. Deputies say Montez disappeared 8 days ago near Burbank Slough off the Columbia. They add that Montez had called 911 that day stating that he was drowning and needed help. Dispatchers traced it to a rough location but didn't find him until the day after. The Sheriff's Office says they're heartbroken and don't want another family to endure this kind of loss. Walla Walla deputies emphasize that Washington is a cold water state and most of our statewide boating deaths come from paddle sports. They say that's why it's illegal to use a paddle craft without a life jacket and some kind of horn or siren. They say if you're going to paddle, wear a life jacket and bright colors so others can easily spot you. You should also paddle with a friend and tell someone where you're going and when you should be back. Continuing coverage now on developments at the Franklin County Jail. Franklin County Sheriff Jim Raymond is now sharing his concerns about jail operations after the County Board of Commissioners took jail oversight out of his hands back in April. The board cited financial mismanagement found in a state audit report, although Sheriff Raymond says they're doing more harm than good. NonStop Local's Eli Kern dove into the divide, speaking with the sheriff as well as the new head of operations at the jail.
The county commissioners, the Franklin County prosecutor, and the new county administrator creating dangerous situations.
Franklin County Sheriff Jim Raymond unhappy with the takeover of the Franklin County Jail, and how the last 6 months have gone since then depends on who you ask.
Since the split, morale's gone up 100%.
Keelan Harmon, former commander with the Franklin County Sheriff's Office, left his position with the sheriff to take over as commander of the newly formed corrections staff.
There's been a lot of misinformation that's out there about the jail not having safety measures, or we're missing something, or we're not reporting on this and that, and all those rumors. They're just rumors.
Commander Harmon emphasizing throughout the tour that safety for both staff and inmates is a top priority. Sheriff Raymond isn't convinced.
The community should be worried. It's a tense situation right now. In a moment's notice, it could go south the way things are set up. And prior to April 23rd, there was no going south.
The sheriff expressing concern over the correction staff's ability to handle an emergency situation.
This is about doing things right, making sure that inmates and people we arrest are treated right and their constitutional rights are guarded.
I asked Commander Harmon what his level of confidence is in the event of an emergency.
I have 100% confidence. I've had a lot of the agencies have reached out and told me, hey, whatever you need to make your program successful, we're here for you. So it's been great.
Harmon also clarifying the jurisdiction that the corrections officers have. They
can't go arrest people out in the street. They are part of the law enforcement community. The difference is if let's say we're taking someone to the hospital and the person escapes their custody, we actually can chase them and rearrest that person.
Sheriff Raymond hasn't been able to visit the jail during the takeover process, feeling that this situation stems from personal reasons opposed to anything performance-related.
It's all out of vendetta, is what it is.
There is a motion hearing scheduled in the case of Sheriff Raymond versus Franklin County for this Thursday. Updates on that to come. For now, Eli Kern reporting.
Thank you very much, Eli. Meanwhile, still to come here on NonStop Local at 4. Have you heard about the comet that some people think isn't a comet, but scientists are like, no, that's a comet. And other people are like, that's exactly what a comet would say. And then you're like, wait, what a comet would say? That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't, but it will in about 8 minutes. Or it won't, Leslie. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm confused, but I'm looking forward to the story. That's for sure.
Okay.
All right, live look over Spokane. We've got a few clouds out there. We'll talk about that. Also, some big changes on the way as we get you into the weekend. Stick around. We'll see you back here right after the break.